Hi, my name is John Norton. This is my secret garlic guacamole recipe, and today I'm going to teach you how to make it. So what I'm going to show you is first, these are going to be the ingredients that we have in the secret guacamole recipe here. The main secret ingredient is going to be the garlic that's in there. We have avocado, plum tomatoes, white onion, and lemon. So it's just fresh squeezed lemon juice. The other thing that's going to be in there is kosher salt as well. But if you're making this guacamole recipe, there's actually sort of specific ratios that you have for all the different ingredients that are in here. First, it's going to be 1 avocado to 2 plum or Roma tomatoes, diced up, seeded. Once we're going to get to it and show you how to do. And then you're also going to have white onion. This is about 1/6 of 1 large white onion. So if you're making with 6 avocados, you're going to use 1 whole white onion that you see like over here, big white onion like that. If our tomatoes don't all escape over here on me. The other thing is going to be is about 1 clove of garlic for this much avocado, tomato, and onion in there, and about half a lemon, fresh squeezed lemon juice that are going to be in there, depending upon how juicy the lemon is. So that's going to be the other thing. And then kosher salt, of course, we're going to use that actually for mashing the garlic into a paste, and show you how to do that. And that's the technique is actually really what kind of makes some of the flavors kind of come through in this. Been kind of developing this recipe for a couple of years now. Knew it was actually really kind of a winner that we had when we had a family party one time, and I found about a 4 or 5-year-old kid climb up on the table and had his head stuck in the bowl trying to lick it clean. So we knew that it actually tasted pretty good at that point. And it's been a recipe that we've had pretty much every family party ever since. And my sister, who's also my cameraman today, it's one of her favorite recipes, and she always requests that I make it whenever she's in town and around. So let me get started here, and I'll show you how we go through making it. I highly recommend using a really sharp knife. But what you're going to do is first you're going to cut your avocado open here, and you're going to score it in half all the way around, so you get 2 hemispheres here. And if you do that, you're going to have that where you have the pit of the avocado on one side. So you can actually take the knife and kind of just whack it in there and pull it out. So you get kind of a little garbage bowl over here. We're going to keep that. You can actually keep the pit of the avocado and put it into the guacamole when you're done making it. That's supposed to help it not oxidize. But usually this guacamole gets eaten so quickly you don't get a chance to do that. So let me grab a towel real quick and just to keep your hands clean here. What we're going to do is actually score the avocado in the different halves. So you want to be careful not to push through the skin of the avocado here and cut your hand, especially if you're using a really sharp knife like this. And if your avocado is nice and ripe, it shouldn't be too hard. You shouldn't have to really push through that. And choosing your avocados too. A lot of times if you haven't done that before, you're looking for avocado that's going to be nice and ripe and almost kind of like buttery feeling. It's going to be soft. If you haven't done that before, you can always ask the guy at the store to kind of help you pick out one that's nice and soft and ripe for you. Probably just to tell you a little bit about myself while I'm kind of going through here and getting these cut up for you. I guess I got interested in cooking when I used to watch my grandfather cook when I was probably a little kid. I was probably about 3, 4, 5 years old, and I used to watch him make all the big sort of family meals, things like that. My grandma actually didn't know how to cook that well, and my grandpa was actually a really good cook, and he made a lot of the food for our family. So that's kind of how I got into it. That, and I guess watching either the Frugal Gourmet or the Swedish Chef on the Muppet Show growing up, those are all things I guess kind of influenced me to do it. So, and really like cooking. Now I have avocado here that's already been scored up, which you can kind of see a little bit. And what you do is just take a spoon and kind of run it between the skin of the avocado and the flesh that you just cut up, and you get some nice little cubes that fall right into the bowl there for you. And you do the same thing with the other side, and you get almost all your avocado to come out. And just use that. So we have that in there. Now with your avocado in there, what I like to do at this point is just kind of mash it up a little bit and get some of it. You still want to kind of leave some chunks, but this kind of gets it started just a little bit. You're going to continually mix when you add some of the rest of the ingredients, so that's going to kind of get it more creamy, but sometimes guacamoles you have that they're really kind of mushy and just really soft all the way through. This one's kind of nice if it's a little bit more chunky, kind of, I guess what in Italian cooking they call crudo, so something you can kind of do in there and work as you go through. So start that and leave the fork in the bowl with some of that stuff mashed up. I'm going to get on to the tomatoes. What you want to do is take your plum tomatoes, and I cut those in half. And to seed and kind of depulp the tomatoes here, what I'm going to do is just take, they tell you sometimes to use a spoon, but I find that it's easier if you just kind of stick your finger into each cell on the tomato and kind of get that kind of gel with the seeds in there to come out. And we're doing a single recipe here though for like a single serving with one avocado. I've made this with as many as probably about a dozen, and I'd probably be chopping vegetables for about 45 minutes. So we're just going to do a quick little few minute video here to show you how to make this. So you can go through and kind of do it quick. So get the rest of these. I just kind of use the finger to press out the pulp and the seeds that are in each cell and tomato. You just got to be careful you're not wearing anything nice because they do tend to squirt and spit a little bit when you're doing this. And so I got those again, and get my tomato off my hands here again. So got these guys. Now cutting up tomato really helps you get a nice sharp knife. If you don't, you're probably going to end up crushing the tomatoes. This is my favorite shun knife, little plug for them, but very, very sharp, and it's very easy to cut yourself, so you want to pay attention when you're cutting like this. So you're going to cut the tomatoes, try and keep them all about the same size. At least uniform in size. And because this will give you some nice little mix. So this is going to be what's different from a lot of restaurant guacamoles that you're going to see that are just primarily avocado with maybe some like chili or onion and cilantro. This is almost more like a vegetable dip. Here, so I'm going to kind of work with these real quick. So, excuse me for not talking too much during here because I don't want to cut my fingers off. And I want to pay attention to what I'm doing. And this may seem like a lot of tomato for a guacamole. We could just call it a guacamole because you really couldn't think of anything else to call it. But it does have enough guacamole or avocado to make it green. So in the end, that really is why we call it a guacamole, I guess, in our family. Trying to keep these even again, just uniform. And I guess you could also take the stems of that tomato, but we cut it up pretty fine so that actually those, a lot of people eat them without even noticing. Once it's mixed in with everything, it tastes pretty good. So, almost done here. Okay, so while I got this already cut up, I'm going to kind of go ahead and get this onion diced up as well. It's kind of cut it a little bit differently than when normally would be doing with a whole big white onion, kind of cutting it a different way. This is just to kind of get the pieces cut up. With the white onion, you're going to cut it up as fine as much as possible. And if you're making big batches of this and using lots of white onion, what a lot of times what we'll do is you can take the white onion and after you cut it up like this, throw it into a strainer and run it under cold water, and that kind of takes away some of the bite on the onion. But just for kind of time's sake here, I'm going to throw this in. So I'm going to take all my tomato, put that into our bowl here. Clear our cutting board off a little bit. juice here. We kind of can mix the avocado with the tomato and the white onion here at this point. Kind of start to get it mixed. And as the avocado breaks down, it's going to kind of mix and coat a lot of the red and white in here and kind of get back to almost more of a green guacamole look in here. So you got these guys nice and mixed up. Okay, so now this is the non-traditional guacamole ingredient. That's going to be our garlic. Now this here is a whole clove of garlic. And you're going to use 1 clove of garlic, good sized clove of garlic for each piece of avocado that you put in there. And so just to get the skin off, I'm just going to put my weight on the knife and press it down. And then I'm going to just chop it up a little bit here. And kind of get it into little cubes almost. And that kind of gets it part of the way to where I want it. And what we're going to do is actually turn this garlic into a paste. And it's going to, so it kind of mixes in with the avocado itself and kind of really gives it this guacamole its unique flavor. So what we're going to do then is take this kosher salt and put a little bit, just enough to kind of cover the top of the garlic. Don't need to use a whole lot, but what the salt does is acts also as an abrasive. So you can take, kind of scrape everything together. What I'm going to do is use the knife, and I'm going to kind of press down and use it to smash the garlic down, and use it kind of to press it out. The salt's going to help keep the garlic in place, and it's also going to absorb a lot of the liquid that comes out of the garlic. So this is like these little cubes now are getting completely flattened and into a wide space on the cutting board here. So what I'm going to do is then, what I can do is scrape that up. So actually you see there's almost a thin film on the cutting board, now I'm scraping it back up into place. So you kind of just to break up any fiber that's in it, you're going to run the knife over it one more time. That kind of really lets the juices out. Now, if you don't want your fingers to smell like garlic for the next couple days, you might want to either use a glove or a knife to kind of clean the other knife like this. But I don't mind smelling like garlic. I really like it. So you can take that garlic paste then and just put that right on top. So once you've done that, you can go ahead here, and I like to take the lemon juice and make sure that you drizzle that juice directly over the garlic, and that kind of dissolves a lot of the salt and the oil from the garlic itself, so that's going to get nice and incorporated throughout the guacamole. When you're adding the salt to the garlic, if you go on the later side, you can always add more salt later. You just don't want to go too heavy-handed with it, but it's kind of hard to with this much vegetables, with all the tomatoes and the onions and the avocado itself. And so now with the lemon juice and the garlic mixed in here, it's going to kind of make it a little bit wetter, a little bit easier to stir around here, and kind of help everything kind of dissolve. It's also, the lemon juice is going to keep your guacamole nice and green. It's going to keep it from oxidizing and turning brown. So if you're going to make this like ahead of time before a party, things like that, you can't even make it overnight. What you want to do though is, if you are going to do that, take plastic wrap and press it all the way down tight across the top of the guacamole, and make sure that you don't have any air touching the top of it, and that'll actually keep it from turning brown too. So that's pretty much it. That's our garlic guacamole here. So I'm going to put that there, and Corey, if you want to get closer, you can kind of see what that looks like. Got a lot of avocado, tomato, onion, garlic, lemon juice, and salt. It's good stuff. So that's it.